The director of China's Civil Aviation Administration disclosed at a meeting in July that the pandemic has caused the Chinese aviation industry to suffer a nearly 300 billion yuan loss, and 2022 was exceptionally difficult. The loss in the first half of this year exceeded the annual losses of the past 2 years. He revealed that the flight volume remained low and was only 18% of the same period in 2019. 12 airlines are insolvent, costs are rising, and international travel is down due to China's strict requirements for inbound passengers. But China's 3 largest airlines placed the biggest aircraft purchase order in the airline's history for nearly 300 French Airbus aircraft. Why does China spend so much money when its aviation industry is bleeding? Hello everyone, welcome to my show. I'm Lei. The $30 billion Airbus deal is for 292 Airbus A320 neojets, which directly compete with Boeing's 737 MAX. After the deal was announced, China's state media got very excited, using the opportunity to stab at Boeing with headlines saying, "Boeing loses epic order, Boeing panics, China's counterattack against the economic strike of the U.S., and France wins China's order, the U.S. feels the pain." The Chinese Airbus deal is to put pressure on U.S. multinational companies to lobby the U.S. government for China. One Chinese expert publicly stated in an interview with Chinese media that if Boeing wants the Chinese market, it should use its government connections to help China gain trust with the U.S. government. Boeing has been playing that role, but Beijing is obviously not satisfied. The last order Boeing received from China was almost 5 years ago in October 2017. China ordered 300 aircraft from Airbus when Xi Jinping visited France in 2019. So in a little over 3 years, and before the Chinese aviation industry has recovered, the CCP buys another 300 airplanes. The timing of the deal is telling. It was announced the day after NATO officially declared China as a strategic challenge for the first time. Reuters reported that at the NATO summit in Madrid, the United States had pushed for more forceful language to reflect China's increasing military ambition, but European nations favored more measured references. Because of the decision-making mechanism of NATO's unanimous agreement, the member states settled on describing China as a challenge rather than a threat. The CCP saw the difference between the EU and the US and has deployed the airplane diplomacy trying to pull Europe in. For the past 6 years, China has been Germany's largest trading partner. During the pandemic in early 2020, China has overtaken the United States to become the EU's largest trading partner. At the end of 2020, China and the EU reached a historic investment agreement, but the Chinese Communist Party started a war with the EU over Xinjiang and sanctioned some members of the European Parliament. It eventually led to the European Parliament freezing the agreement. The pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war have further alienated Europeans. To repair relations, Beijing sent 2 special envoys, first Huo Yuzhen, to visit 8 countries in Central and Eastern Europe, and then Wu Hongbo to Belgium, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, France, Hungary, Germany, and Italy. In my opinion, this latest Airbus order is more about repairing relations with Europe than boosting Airbus in China over Boeing, because Airbus has already gained advantages over Boeing. At the end of the 20th century, Airbus' global market share was about 50%, but its market share in China was only 30%. Quickly expanding into China became the company's top priority. When then French President Jacques Chirac visited China in October 2006, China ordered 150 Airbus A320 and 20 A350 aircraft. Chirac called himself the biggest salesperson for Airbus. It was the largest aircraft order in the history of Chinese civil aviation at the time. In lieu of this, Airbus signed an agreement with China to jointly build an assembly line in Tianjin to make A320 aircraft. It was the first assembly line for Airbus outside Europe at that time. According to official data, from the delivery of the first assembled in China Airbus aircraft in 2009 to the end of 2021, the Tianjin Airbus manufacturing base delivered a total of 555 A320 aircraft, almost an average of 50 aircraft per year. In 2015, Airbus invested in another 150 million euro and built a completion assembly plant in China for the wide-body A330 aircraft. Airbus has 1,500 employees in China and is the only major aviation giant that has production plants in China. As a result of this close collaboration, Airbus has been rewarded. As of the end of 2020, the number of Airbus aircraft in service in China accounted for 51% of the domestic aviation market, bigger than Boeing's share. That's a 21% increase in 20 years. And China has surpassed the United States as the single largest country market for Airbus. Chinese media said Airbus's production presence in China is one major reason why the French won the recent deal over Boeing. And a week before the latest big order was signed, on June 24th, Airbus and Suzhou Industrial Park signed a framework agreement to establish the Airbus Suzhou R&D Center. But Airbus' strategy to trade technology for market will be costly to the French in the long run, because China is interested in making its own jets. William Reinsch, Director of International Business Studies at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, said this to Voice of America. I think they are ultimately trying to kick both Airbus and Boeing out of the Chinese market. I have no doubt about that. China's goal is to eliminate both competitors from China and then go to a third country to compete with them for the market. I think they want to eliminate Western competition. Some Chinese ask why their country doesn't buy the Chinese-made C919 jet. I know a pilot working in China who told me that the C919 can't really fly. The Chinese-made aircraft is good for publicity, but hasn't been certified and can be mass-produced. I think Boeing should not be upset at all because one Chinese expert based in France, Wang Longmeng, told Radio Free Asia that the CCP may not be serious about buying that many aircraft from Airbus and may be even short on foreign reserve to pay for them. He said the CCP might give the French the illusion of buying, when in fact it may drag the process on and will be slow in payment, since the real purpose of the deal is to appease the Europeans while putting pressure on the Americans. CCP business is like show business. It's all about looking good. I made a video about Boeing and the Chinese C919. Here it is. That's all for today. Thank you. See you soon.